There are some games that you don't just play, you enter them. Not because they're flashy, not because they're modern, but because they ask you to slow down and listen. Games I Met Late is a series about titles that I missed when they first released. Games many of you already know well, that I'm only now just experiencing for the first time in this season of my life. I'm not here to score them. I'm not here to compare them to anything modern. I'm not here to get a reaction out of any of you. I just want to talk about how they felt, what kind of space they created, and what it was like to live inside them, just for a little while. As of today, January 4th, I have finished Resident Evil, my first completed game of the new year. In a way, that feels poetic, starting the year by finishing a nearly 2-decade-old classic. Going into 2026, I made a quiet decision to move more intentionally, to explore what I never explored, to revisit eras I lived through but never truly experienced myself. And honestly, this felt like the right place to start. Beginnings. At first, the game felt slow, like walking through snow up to your knees slow. The mansion felt overwhelming, huge walls, a limitless ceiling, narrow hallways. It all felt confusing, unfriendly, and uninviting. Every single door was an option, and that made none of them feel right. I played a few sessions and got frustrated and admittedly closed the game more than once. In the beginning, I felt weak, too weak to be within this game. Resources were scarce. The space was just too big. It felt like I was running in circles, winding up where I began. No progress made, just all the more confused. And on top of all of that, I was genuinely afraid of what might be lurking just around the corner. But then I found my first key, the first glimpse of hope. Then I opened my first few doors, and something clicked. The reward wasn't in rushing forward, it was in exploring. It wasn't about dominating the space you were in. It was about surviving in this space. It wasn't about taking control. Power lied in outsmarting enemies and looking at things differently. If a door didn't lead you to immediate progress, it often led you to something just as valuable: ammunition, healing, knowledge. I stopped dreading unopened doors. In fact, I started racing towards them. Racing with determination, motivation, and eagerness. The mansion all began to make a little bit more sense. Action. This game doesn't guide you gently. There's no yellow tape on doors telling you where to go next. No hints handed out if you stand still long enough. If you were stuck, guess what? You were stuck. You went back through your notes. You had to reread files. You stopped and you thought. In 2002, Resident Evil didn't care if you played its game or not. If you got off out of frustration, well, oh well. The attention economy that we live in today begs for your constant attention. It makes so much sense why this game felt like a different type of reward. Something with soul, with true value. Solving a puzzle felt like a reward itself. What lies beyond this door became motivation enough. It was just me, the mansion, and whatever secrets it was holding. And somehow, the setting never grew old. The mansion never felt empty or depressing. Instead, escaping into a quiet room, a typewriter, a moment of safety, released all the tension I'd been carrying. I really didn't expect that from a horror game. I didn't think I even liked horror at all, but Resident Evil kindly proved me wrong. Momentum. What started as fear slowly turned into curiosity, and by the end, I wanted more. More lore, more story, more Resident Evil. Finding an ink ribbon felt like a gift. Finding grenade shells felt like a promise. Every note I picked up mattered. Nothing in this game felt like filler. Even with limited context, the game sets up this world in a way that's cryptic, restrained, and confident. You never fully know what's going on, but you do know where you stand. And there's a charm to older games. You know, the ones where cutscenes and voice acting aren't exactly perfect.
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
Because your imagination gets to fill in the gaps. I imagine fights with the Crimson Heads being cinematic. Each narrow escape from hunters a scene of its own. Enemies that once terrified me eventually became manageable. I learned their patterns, their limits. The mansion stopped feeling impossible. It stopped feeling completely hostile and started feeling oddly familiar. I began to trust myself more, trust in my abilities and my capability in navigating the map and the corridors of this once strange space. Forward. If you know me, or you've spent any time with Chiral Drifter, you know that I have a deep appreciation for the Souls games. And this game reminded me of them, especially Dark Souls 1. When I first began that game on the PlayStation 3, there was really no such thing as walkthroughs and guides. The only guide that you could potentially have was the book that you get to purchase alongside the game. Nobody was covering this super niche game. It was you and you alone. In these games, curiosity is often rewarded or punished. Either way, you move forward. Death isn't failure. It's all a part of the process. As long as you don't quit, the game waits for you. You learn. You adapt. You continue. And that's why these games still matter. They're quiet reminders that there's no advantage in giving up. That defeat is only a setback if you refuse to learn from it. And sometimes, the games we meet late end up arriving exactly when we need them. And finishing this also made me genuinely excited to step into Resident Evil 2 next. Going into the game with the context I have now and a real appreciation for where this series began feels like a gift in itself. And before I wrap this up, I just want to say thank you. Thank you again. Hitting 2,000 subscribers still does not feel real. And I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who has taken the time to watch, listen, and just be here. I'd also like to say that memberships are also live now, not as a requirement, but just as a way to directly support the channel and this little corner that we're building together. Whether you join or not, just being here means more than you know. I'll see you all at the next bonfire, and don't you dare go hollow. Chiral.